My relatives made fun of my daughter's low-paying job, but she shocked them with what she said back. My daughter grew up as the smart kid in our family, but she ended up dropping out of college, so now everyone makes fun of her and my family. For context, I grew up in a very traditional Asian household, so everyone got really worried when I married someone outside of our demographics. They told me that marrying him would make our bloodline weaker and our kids dumber, but I was happiest with him. We went through with the marriage and moved out to his place in Australia, where we lived a pretty normal life. After about 3 years, we had our first child, Amber. She was beautiful, and I wanted to raise her happily without all the stress and responsibilities I had to deal with growing up. But her grandparents pressured and pushed her to be an achiever. All our relatives praised her, saying, "At least your daughter is not like her father's blood," and "Who would have known that you would be the one to produce an excellent child out of all the people? Let's just hope she stays that way." Their comments made me sick to my stomach, but I couldn't speak out. My daughter enjoyed the compliments, but whenever she hit moments that were difficult at school or out of her control, she ended up breaking down at home and falling sick from all the stress. After dragging my daughter to her third hospital visit in the year, my husband told me angrily that we were cutting ties from my family until after Amber finishes college. I knew it wouldn't be a good idea, but I agreed. I still secretly sent my relatives videos and pictures of my family over the years, but we never went to go see them. But just as my husband predicted, my daughter's stress levels became more manageable. She looked so happy doing the things she loved without judgment, and she learned to handle failure and disappointment better than before. And when the time came for her to meet her relatives, I thought everything would be fine. I was wrong. On her 25th birthday, we decided to host a birthday party back at my family ancestral home. We spent hours cooking, baking, and decorating the entire place before our relatives arrived. Everyone greeted us with kindness, and all my worries washed away. But after a while, I started hearing whispers and seeing vicious side glances aimed at me and Amber. I frowned, trying to ignore it, but my daughter started to notice the weird stares. Her cousins greeted her but walked away like she was a speck of dirt on the ground. In the middle of the celebration, everyone had basically split up into circles, avoiding my family. My husband apologized to me and Amber. She shook her head and said, "No, Dad, it's not your fault. What they're doing is bullying, and it's not okay." She grabbed the microphone from the people singing karaoke and cut the music, asking for everyone's attention. She smiled and thanked everyone for coming out to celebrate her birthday. Then she immediately jumped straight to the point, saying, "So, I've been hearing the whispers around the room, and I'm here to clear things up. Yes, I am just an administrative assistant, but I'm happy, even if I'm paid $14 an hour. Because you know what? Pride doesn't pay bills. You guys would know, since most people here don't have jobs that pay any bills." She shrugged and elaborated, "Our grandparents' money won't last us forever, so try to spend all that time trying to hurt my family into trying to find a job like mine. By the way, the egg rolls here are delicious and 100% homemade. Enjoy." She threw the microphone back to the karaoke singers while everyone remained silent and too embarrassed to look at each other. A few relatives decided to just leave, while the others stayed behind gossiping more about my daughter's behavior. One of my cousins walked over and pulled me to the side to say, "You've raised your daughter to be a disgrace." I cannot believe she could say such horrible things when we took the time to show up to her celebration. I laughed, no longer caring about what they think of me, and said, "You came here for free food and gossip. If anything, at your age, you should be more ashamed." She gasped and walked off, dragging her loud kids and brainless husband out of the house. Amber walked over to me and gave me a hug, whispering, "I'm proud of you for standing up for us, Mom. I always knew I got my fighting spirit from you." Tears welled up in my eyes, and all the weight on more shoulders I had been carrying finally disappeared, just from my daughter's hug.